Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Thomas Podcast again. This week, I'm joined by somebody different. It's his full-time single debut on the podcast. Actually, it's
Yeah, I know,
Osian
mental.
Thomas.
Hello, everyone.
You've upgraded. This is your first time on
My first
on
premiere.
the show properly without anyone else there.
I know.
I only realised that when you were like, "So is it just me this time then, or are there other people?" I went, "No, actually, it's his first time on the channel on his own."
I think this is the
Because
third time. Is that third time on the
yeah,
channel?
we did Power of the Doctor. And you came back from movies one that was a bit random.
Oh no, yeah.
Have you done another one after that?
We done these things that are coming soon,
We've done
but
these
that's
things that are
it.
coming soon, but things that are released.
Yeah, no,
No,
not
I think
really.
that's
No.
it. Arshan's been pestering me going, Alex, when are you going to invite me back on the podcast? And I always go, well, what the hell do you want to talk about? And he goes, oh no. I go, well, there you go then. And he doesn't want to talk about anything that will get him in trouble. So that means all the Doctor Who reviews are off base because he likes to stay within the good books of people. And he goes,
I
I
do.
don't like classic Who.
Yeah.
He didn't want it on iPlayer. He was like, he's
Wait, hang on. Whoa. No, to be honest, let me clarify. I've not watched a lot of Classic Who, so I can't really comment on it. The stuff
he
I
said
have watched, it's all right. It's okay.
he said it's a waste of the data for the iPlayer hub.
100%. Yeah.
You actually claimed
Get
you
more
wanted
Bluey on
three.
there.
Well,
Get more
mate,
Bluey in there.
it's all
Let's
on
stop
Disney
doing more
Plus now. It's
Bluey.
all on Disney Plus.
Oh, Bluey.
Yeah.
All right, get more Tracy Beaker on there, and then it'll be
You won't watch. You won't
no,
watch.
I won't
Even
watch
if
it.
they made it, you wouldn't watch it.
No.
Yeah. Speaking of the classics, obviously, since you were last on the show, you went to your first BFI event. That was something
Yes.
that you did. You went out in the wild and spoke to other Doctor Who people,
Yes. Scary.
which is something that you might be joking when you say scary, but no, actually, was scary for him.
Yeah, it was
Bless him.
terrifying.
But yeah, no, you had a good time, right? You saw the five
Yeah, I
doctors
mean,
for the first
I
time.
watched the Five Doctors for the first time, which was I really enjoyed it. It was really fun.
It's quality, yeah, it's top tier.
And it had my favorite villain in it,
The Raston Warrior robot.
the Raston Warrior, which
And we'll
I do
leave you
hope
up.
is in these 60th specials.
Well, that's exactly it. It's a good segue into what we're talking about. So basically, as you guys know, on this show at the minute, we're kind of doing 2 weeks, adjacent weeks of reviewing, and I'm kind of trying to figure out what to fill the void with until these specials come on. And basically, I thought, well, Oshan hasn't had the chance to talk about the 60th anniversary yet. He's a massive Russell T Davies fan. So let's get him on. Let's see what he wants to talk about. He said he wants to talk about it for a long time. So if this episode is absolute rubbish, it's all on him. Because he was like, no, I have some things I'd like to talk about on the podcast concerning these specials. So this is his moment. So yeah, we're going to see how he goes. So basically, yeah, we're just going to have a bit of back and forth, chat about a lot of things, and basically, hopefully, it will reach a conclusion quite authentically, and we can just go, there you go. Because this will be the last time we talk about the 60th anniversary before the 60th anniversary, which
Crazy. It's
scary.
gone so fast.
Oh yeah, we're filming this on Monday the 23rd, which is a year since Power of the Doctor, which feels like yesterday.
I know.
Like that night, I got drunk and booked to meet Jodie Whittaker and David Tennant at Comic Con.
Oh yeah, because he already booked for that Comic Con, didn't he?
Yeah.
Before he was announced. That's crazy. That is crazy.
Yep. And then I got that double shoot, which I was very happy. I was like, I have to do it now because it's very rare that you're going to get the previous Doctor and the current Doctor all in one photo shoot. And to think
Oh
it
my
was
God,
Jodie David Tennant was a weird thought at the time. Now looking back on it, it's still very strange. So yeah, Ash, what's your first point of contention that you want to bring up? By the way,
I wanted to talk about.
I was going to say, if there are any spoilers in this, it's not on purpose. So we don't know anything. So
so the plot. So
yeah.
we know that it's 3 different episodes.
Yep.
The Giggle is the last one. Blue Wild Done. What's the first one? The Star Beast, right?
Yes.
The Star Beast is obviously an adaptation.
Yep.
Now, how much of that is an adaptation we'll see.
Well, I think if you know the Star Beast story, I think it's going to follow all the beats within the Beat the Meep storyline.
Because have you read it?
Well, again, but I know what happens.
Yeah, it's yeah.
So I think it will do that, but obviously, like the outward perception of obviously it wasn't David Tennant's Doctor in that. It definitely wasn't Donna and
yeah,
all this sort of stuff. So I think that it'll be like a loose adaptation, sort of like, when the MCU does a comic book storyline, but because they don't
Age
have
of
access
Ultron.
to all the characters, or they haven't
Yeah.
introduced the characters yet, they'll substitute other characters in for that role or something like that. Or they'll
Or
change
like
this aspect of.
Secret Invasion.
Oh, we don't get onto that. This isn't the secret invasion thing, because I could absolutely rip into that for a good hour or so. But yeah, no, I think it'll be a good adaptation. But I also think I think it's a wise choice to do as the first special, because it's quite a lax story to what I'm aware of.
Yeah, I think obviously I think what it's clear what Ross is trying to do with this first story. It's probably going to be a nice and simple story, but with a more to do with characters in the background and what's going on with that. Because obviously, I think out of all the showrunners, Russell really does focus more on character than plot. If I would
Yeah.
want to, yeah, I'd say that.
Well, I think that's something you can get onto with the other specials. I think this episode 2 is an enigma, because nobody
Oh
knows
my
anything
god,
about it. They're not showing anything about it, but which obviously lets our heads run wild with theories and
I
what
know.
have you. But also, imagine if it's just the greatest trouble of all time. It's just a really, like, not a bad episode, but the most beige.
They're just stuck in a room, and that's
They're
it. They
just
just
stuck in a
argue.
room, and that's all it is. And
Oh, it's all
wow.
right. No, no, it would, yeah.
They've gone down to Cardiff escape rooms, and they've just done the escape room for an hour, and that's the plot.
David Tennant said today there was a article that came out today with something, I don't know, don't know what
Empire, was it?
article. Yeah, Empire, and didn't he stated that he said that this episode is some of Russell's best work. So that's a good. Well, like it
Yeah,
says, it's different to what any other Doctor Who episode. So I don't know what that means, but like I smell like
it's a
any
clip
Doctor Who episode.
show. Imagine
Yeah.
that. They've lost all the budget, so they do a clip show episode, which is why they catch everything for episode 2. No, I mean,
Yeah.
everyone's talking about this episode 2. I think Russell's come back with a whole host of ideas. I mean, he's literally said he wouldn't come back unless he had a good reason to do it, unless he thought he could deliver something different from 2005. So yeah, I think he's always playing coy about the fact there's like, this is the new beginning, because it is a new beginning, but also it's 6th anniversary. He's a Doctor Who fan. He knows what the fans want. I'm sure he'll lean into that in some capacity. But again, though, I guess within that role, it's not always up to him. Obviously, if you want to get actors back, it's their schedules, this sort of stuff. But that's why I never really, when it comes to like people asking if episode 2 is a cameo fest, I think we're none the wiser than we are to anybody that comments on it, because they're not going to say if they're in it or not, and they're going to deny it anyway. So when people are like, people are like, oh, people who never come back to Doctor Who, well, he's never been offered, as far as I'm aware. Like, if Russell called him up with a really good idea, said, hey mate, do you want to come to Cardiff or wherever for 3 days to do a quick this thing? It's a really cool part of the story. I'm sure, I'm not saying it's out the question. I don't know Capaldi, and I know there obviously are some difficult circumstances surrounding why he left. But at the end of the day, he's a Doctor Who fan as well. 60th anniversary. I'm sure he'd be up for it if the story was right.
With that second episode, if you could bring back 3 different people to cameo in it, if it is a cameo fest type thing, who would you want those 3 people to be? Matt Smith, obviously. Matt and Karen.
I won't go Arthur, even though I love Arthur, but I'll go Freema. I really want Freema to be in this. I think.
Well, I don't want Freema in that episode. I want Freema in for unit or like working overall.
But like, I just want Freema in the episodes, mate. To be honest, like, I think she's the most forgotten about RTD companion, and she's actually my favourite of the 3. I think her back and forth.
The best. She's one of the best. Yeah.
Yeah, I think her back and forth. Oh, we've had a bit of a Zoom meltdown. Osian's frozen.
Hello. No, we're here. I can hear you.
You're just not blinking. I thought you would I thought you froze. You weren't blinking.
No, I was checking her.
But yeah, no. So I really want her to be in it. So I guess those are my 3. But Matt's the obvious one. Like, if Matt ain't in it, I'll be gutted. I don't think I want Eccleston in it. I sort of do, but I sort of don't.
I can understand why he wouldn't, but
but I also understand, like, it's like he doesn't really seem asked, which give it to somebody that does seem asked. Like Matt Smith has very clearly gone, if Doctor Who ever want me back, I'll be there and drop out. And I think,
Jodie.
Joe, I think it's too soon. I wouldn't say.
I think it's too
I
soon.
wouldn't say
Yeah.
no to it. I would only feel bad for her if every other doctor are in it. Like, I mean, like, obviously if they
Yeah.
bring McCoy and McGann back and all that. Like, I would then feel bad that she doesn't get some recognition in some form
Mm.
or another. Mainly as well, just for the Twitter users to go see Russell paid homage to every other doctor except Jodie, which because but then you'd start a war between the Jodie haters and the Jodie stands, and the Jodie stands are worried at Russell, whereas the Jodie haters are praising Russell for not, it's like, don't do
Yeah.
that.
We've
But
been there
I
before.
mean,
We
look,
don't want to do it again.
yeah, we don't want to do that again. Twitter's basically, well, it's never at appeasal, but it's at a big closest
It's always war.
we've been to it. We've the closest we've been to it in a long time. So yeah, I'd say if every doctor is referenced in some form or another, then I would like her to have a
Yeah.
bit part. If it's only a couple, like your sort of Day of the Doctor or whatever, then you can get away with it. If it's on a Guardians of the Edge situation where it's all the non-doctors, I think then she has to be in it by definition. If you've got Eccleston, Tennant, Matt, and Capaldi back, you have to. I think you have to have her in it because her absence does feel strange. Same with Joe Martin, to be honest, as well.
Oh God, yeah, I forgot about Joe Martin. Yeah.
Um,
Here's my theory to do with the. I've called it here the world between worlds. It's not Star Wars. It's what do you call it? The Guardians of the Edge.
yeah, the Edge or whatever.
Because I don't know how like the writing process and everything works and all that. With that appearing in Power of the Doctor and Russell coming back, do you think we might see it again? But do you think we'll see it this soon?
I mean, look, I think Russell can do what he likes. I think the good thing is as well is that you can tell that Chibs, Russell, Stephen all get on. And I think
there was that interview, wasn't there?
they very clearly have different ways of running Doctor Who. I think that's very clear. Like we heard a recent talk with RTD. I wasn't there, obviously, but you said that Russell wants to bring the fun bad to Doctor Who, which he feels been lacking. Which everyone was like, "Oh, that's a shot at Chibnall." Well, I don't think it is. I think it's just because there are different people like different eras. Like some people say the 80s in Doctor Who wasn't too fun; it was more dark. Or Moffat isn't really the same sort of soapy kind of showrunner.
Yeah.
I don't think that was a shot at Chris Chibnall. I just think Russell was going, this is how I think Doctor Who should be. I'm bringing it back to that, which he's more within his rights to.
Every format of a showrunner's changed. Like Moffat really went into the whole mystery type thing to it, adding all these clues and
if Chibnall if Doctor Who stayed the same after every showrunner, then it wouldn't be it. I think people need I think that's sometimes people forget that about Doctor Who is that change is fundamentally within it, and if it didn't change, it wouldn't be here today. Like,
did it change back in the classics then a lot, or not really?
Or
is that why it eventually?
No, the reason it eventually went was because Michael Grade, who became the leader of the BBC, sort of hated sci-fi. He just hated sci-fi, so he got rid of it. He put it up against like Coronation Street, so it would obviously tank. To basically go, look, Doctor Who's not a pull anymore. But no, I mean, yeah, of course it changed a lot. I mean, obviously, the thing when you have a multi-decade spanning show, it's going to change anyway. But also, you have people like Douglas Adams, who is a well-known science writer that did a few episodes, and you have Philip Hinchcliffe, who was brilliant. You have Barry Letts, who really liked the unit side of things, so that's why John Pertwee was on Earth for a lot of his run. Because he liked the kind of spy.
So that was different.
Espionage. Yeah, so like it has to change a lot, and obviously for better and for worse. I mean, Doctor Who's changed incredibly over the last 60 years now. Jesus. Obviously the way that a lot of people represented, which I know is a massive thing for Russell as well, which I think is brilliant. And just don't tell a certain son of an original writer of Doctor Who because he'll get mad. But yeah, I it's a weird thing. I don't think Russell's going to ride it anywhere similar to what he did in 2005. I'm saying that now. I think he's going to take it entirely different direction.
Really? Just that entirely?
I think he's a more seasoned writer. I don't think he'd want to come back and just go, I'm going to just do the same thing, basically, again. I think the feel's going to be different.
I feel like, yes, but I think that's going to happen when we start with Shoot Here. I feel like with these, they are going to feel the same. But
I mean, to fair, Anniversary Specials sort of live in their own bubble.
Yeah, in a way,
they kind of have big implications, but they're also a lot more fun and chilled out.
Oh, 100%.
The Doctor is like Gallifrey's dying, but also look at the funny men having a laugh with each other for You know, whereas
Yeah, in a way.
if it's a
Yeah.
season finale, you know, Peter Capaldi's like, "Fuck, what are we gonna do?" And it's like really dark and stuff. So, yeah, I do. I agree with you, mate. I think that will be the way forwards. Overall, though, I think it's one of those weird things where I don't really know how it's going to be written because three specials is an interesting number. It's a trilogy, which is a nice number in terms of media and all that sort of stuff, but it doesn't really give a lot of time for development, which make
Yes. Yeah.
I don't think that's a
But at the
bad
same
thing.
time, I trust Russell in a way that because he's developed characters that we haven't spent a lot of time with before in a
Yeah,
short amount of time. So
yeah.
that's
Well,
why I
I
trust it
was
a
more
bit.
talking about development within the overall story. Like it can't be
Oh,
that
right. Okay. Yeah.
it can't be that complicated because you've only got 2 weeks to
Yeah.
um resolve it. It comes to my next kind of point is I think the Toymaker will be in all three episodes in some capacity. I think it'll
100%.
be the overarching villain of this in whatever way. Even if we don't think he's in it, it's revealed that he was in the background of this shot and you never know him or something like that.
Yeah. Or is he the reason that Beep's on Earth to cause all this chaos? Or do you think it's a coincidence that
here's the thing:
Donna's daughter?
if
Yeah.
it can be coincidental. Like I just think if the toy maker was like, right, I need this doctor, which is my theory. I think the toy maker has something to do with the regeneration. I don't know if he can change regeneration. I think that makes him an all-powerful being and how the shit does the doctor stop him this
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah.
But I think he might have something to do with the way the fates happened, or he may have tipped the balance or something. But like,
His
like, yeah.
Hang on, no, crack on.
I was just going to say that I think if it was like, it was just a lucky coincidence that Beat the Meat landed, just as the Toymaker wanted the 14th Doctor to meet Donna again, it might be a bit like, oh, come on, just make them linked or something, you know?
Here's the thing, though, that I would be like the Toymaker might have something to do with David, which I still have my I feel like that still is probably something to do with it. But Russell T Davies today, with the year of the power of the Doctor, they released a behind the scenes video.
Yep.
And in that video, Russell literally states that this is the 15th Doctor. There is no trick
14th,
or anything like
14th.
that. 14th. Sorry,
Yeah,
this
but
is the
also
14th
Russell
Doctor.
lies.
So he does lie, though. Yeah, he does lie.
Here's the thing. I think what they mean by that is this is a regeneration used sort of thing. I like, for example, this is a horrible way of wording it. Hopefully, going like it isn't like this isn't going to be, for example, we're going to get to Ncuti Gatwa's 15th Doctor, but it's going to be the same regeneration. Like the Doctor is going to have to regenerate again to become Ncuti Gatwa. That's what I think he means by that.
Going from what you were talking about, can we talk about Ncuti? Because how does he have a part to play? Oh, he's a brilliant man.
Well, here's the thing. I think, again, I no insight into this, but my prediction would be that Ncuti Gatwa was who the Doctor was meant to become, right? And the regeneration energy was either changed, or I don't know how the science works. I'm not time on. It was somehow manipulated so that it would become David again. And that's the initial regeneration energy fighting back. And there might be some switching. I'm not too sure. I'd find it really annoying for Ncuti if his first scene is him like switching into David Tennant and switching back again. But I want his first scene to be proper. I wouldn't mind if his first scene was in a Guardians of the Edge type situation where he actually gets a scene to talk for like 10 minutes rather than just being, because I said that when it was announced, I was like, well, a lot of the fans are going to want David Tennant back because they know they've only got him for 2 episodes, so they're not going to be like, like it's one of those things where you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. I know people are excited for Ncuti Gatwa, and so am I. Don't get me wrong, but like I feel like I don't know. Like obviously, the one line that most people think is the "What the hell is going on here?" line. I think that's what makes everyone think, okay, this incarnation of the Doctor is either somewhere he shouldn't be, or something's malfunctioning with the regeneration. I think that's a fair point. I mean, I think he'll be in it a lot more than people think.
Yeah,
in some capacity.
That'd be cool.
If not, we ain't got long to wait for him. So I'm, if he's not, I'm not going to be, too upset because he's literally going to be popping around again in like 3 weeks.
They've started filming his season 2.
That was announced today. Yeah, it's crazy.
Mental.
Some people are predicting that might be his last, but I don't think it is. But I hope
How many do you think he'll do?
Well, I'd like somebody to break the 3 series curse. I'd like to see like all the names we mentioned, mate. Yeah, to bring it back, I'd like to see them in the special. I think that would, obviously that's every Doctor Who fan's dream. I get some people go, oh no, but it might not be good for the quality of the episode. No, nobody cares.
It's the anniversary.
When they pop on screen, you'll be going bananas. Like kind of like in Power of the Doctor, except for you. You were like, who's that? That's the guy I find a celebrity, isn't it? Oh,
no, shut up. No, I've got a video proof of me watching Power
is
of the
that
Doctor.
the audio? Is that
even
the
I
audio,
was shocked.
man? Is that the audio, man?
I was shocked, and I was like, I was well impressed when I saw all the.
Nobody was as shocked though as Bradley Walsh coming out of a volcano, just randomly.
Oh yeah. That was someone else.
Potentially the best part of the entire episode.
Here's the thing, though: if you are going to do people, what are your thoughts on this? If they were to bring back people like older Doctors, but some of them aren't here anymore, and they were to replicate them with different actors, how do you feel like they've done with not Bradley Walsh,
David Bradley?
David Bradley, yeah.
I don't mind as long as they cast well. Obviously, you need to get the permission of the families. They need to be cast well. As long as they're used well, then
there's an actor that looks and acts well. That's in a part of a family of one of the older Doctors.
I think I know who you're talking about. And obviously, it's up to them as well, especially in the case of Sean Pertwee, who you're talking about. I know people have suggested needs to do it at some point, but it's also I obviously I can't put myself in his shoes at all, but I can imagine it's quite a big deal. It's not something you just go, oh yeah, I'll play my dad who is an icon of this role and I'm just going to replicate it and do it. It's not. It's got to be something that he knows he can do, something he actually wants to do.
Because also you don't want to kind of replay, because I've seen a lot of things for some reason. Some of the Doctor Who stuff for the first Doctor now, I know a lot of the stuff is maybe lost or whatever, but like they show a lot of just David Bradley, don't they? Which is like instead of
I think that's because it's meant to like entice younger viewers, people like yourself, like classic Who's a bit poopy.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. Okay, no shade on anyone here, but the way the first Doctor is written in Twice Upon a Time,
it's nothing like the way the first Doctor
nothing.
Was
Yeah.
For some reason, Moffat writes him. I love Moffat, and everyone knows that here. But Moffat writes him like he's a man from the '60s, not an alien from a TV show that aired in the '60s. I would hope that Twice Upon a Time is not the last time we see Peter Capaldi in Doctor Who.
Yes.
I'd like to say
because I do like
very
him
much. Oh, I love Peter Capaldi. Like Peter Capaldi is one of those Doctors that. And I hope this is the same for Jodie with a lot of people, is that over time, I appreciate every time I watch the episodes, I don't want to go back to those. I appreciate some of them more and more. There are still some that I think are absolute toilet, but there are those that I go back to and I go, do you know what? I haven't thought of Flatline in a while, but I watch it and it's really bloody good. Or something like that. So I hope that's what some people do the Jodie episodes down the line. They go, do you know what? I haven't thought of one that I quite like, not that people do. This is not just me going at you, because you're not the. To be fair, you're one of the kinder people that don't really like the Jodie era. There are a lot of people that are a lot more volatile and say that it destroyed Doctor Who, which I think is absolute. But people look at Witchfinders and like people go, "I do actually Witchfinders is pretty good," in a few years. Or just there's many examples I get with Village of the Angels, for example. Again, I think that will hold up. Even the Daleks, which you need to watch. Watch it this year, mate.
Yeah,
get in the festive spirit. Watch Eden.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah.
So I put in this. I don't know really. Again, obviously, I was just spitballing because I thought we could discuss. I put. I reckon a big character will die. I put in brackets. Discuss with Osian. But I do reckon that if Donna comes back scot-free after losing her mind, and then nobody dies as a consequence, that would be a bit. I think that'd be a bit lucky.
My theory, this is my theory about the episode, is that helping Donna, like to save Donna, Tennant will have to then sacrifice himself.
Yeah, but I don't think that means much.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
When it's the Doctor I
Yeah.
don't think it means much.
No.
Everyone says Wilf. I think the reason they say
If it was Tennant back then,
yeah,
then
fine.
yes. But the
But
fact he's coming back, yeah.
everyone says Wilf, but I think that only stems from the fact that Bernard's
Yes,
dead.
I don't think Russell went, ooh, do you know what? We've had a bit of a story. Do you know what? I'm gonna write this in.
No. But like, do you know, like I think that literally only stems from the fact that Bernard's dead. I think that's because generally nobody was saying that before Bernard died. I'm not saying that it was in a mean spirited way. I just think some people don't realize what they're saying when they say it, and then I'm like, oh.
So why would you kill an old man in an episode like that?
Because tears, Osian, the tear.
Russell T is good at bringing the tears. I'll go.
So I genuinely I don't like saying this. I can see Donna getting it.
What?
Only I can see Donna dying. I'm not saying it's likely, but I think it would ruin Journey's End if you knew in the future that she just gets her memories back and then lives happily ever after. I'd be
it's my fear with going into these because Journey's End, and I think Donna for me is my favorite companion of the entire show, really. So if this undermines
Series 4's great, it's the peak of Doctor Who. Ooh.
It's very good.
It's very good. I like Series 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
If it makes you feel better, Series 4 for me is followed by Series 5.
Yes. Then Series 3. That would be my.
Then Series 3 and then Series 1 for me.
I'd go 10 off Flux probably, but that's a deeper thought that I need to give time. But yeah, I think Russell's smarter than that, and he might even write in such a good way that she might not die, and I feel satisfied. But my thought going into it is just, it seems like a get out of jail free card for one of the most heartbreaking endings to a companion, and I think that makes it heartbreaking is that it's permanent.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I think that's the harder thing. I think that's the sadder thing about it. It's not the fact that he lets Donna die. It's the fact that she forgets all the invasion.
Well, no, but the character we've learned does die. She reverts back to the character. She basically does die. It's, for example, like, I don't know, say that you lost your memories the last 10 years. You as a person would die because you wouldn't be the same person because you'd revert back to who you were 10 years ago. Obviously, that'd be like a child, so that'd be, by definition, or kind of accepted, but like, I just think that it's one of the most heartbreaking ones. It gets you in the feels every time you watch it. It doesn't matter if you watch it once, 10 times, 50 times. It's permanent. It has no weird loophole. There's no weird loophole like Amy and Rory's does. Even though I love their exit, like when the Doctor's like, "Oh, we can't go back. The paradox. I can't land the TARDIS in New York again." Well, fucking land it somewhere else then, and pick them up and get them out of there. Look, obviously that's just one of those things over time that you think about. It's like, he didn't really care about them too much. He moped for a few 100 years or so, but he didn't think within that 100 years or so I could just save them. But Clara, she got a diner. Bill got a girlfriend.
Bill's was sad.
Bill got a girlfriend made of water or something.
Water. Yeah.
Ryan went to Patagonia. So yeah, literally.
It's all sad.
Donna is the only one that really got a permanent sort of death in a sense. I mean,
because Rose ends up happy.
Rose got her own version of Doctor. Martha ended up, unfortunately, with Mickey.
They'll change that if they bring
should have ended up with Tom Ellis, mate. Everyone loves him these days. Everyone loves him these days. Literally,
he's not doing Lucifer
guarantee
anymore.
You could ask anybody who's interested in blokes on the planet. Tom Ellis would probably be in their top 15. just look at Twitter. What a get for Doctor Who, by the way. Before he was really popular, it might have been Miranda at that point. I'm not too sure.
Series 3. Series 3 is a handful of them. Carrie Milligan, you got Andrew Garfield.
That's the funniest one. Garfield. I want him back. That's who I want back. And you know it. Frank. Bring back Frank.
Hashtag bring back Frank.
But like through a top Doctor Strange portal again. So like
question.
Frank.
I'm looking at my notes here.
Yep.
One thing I do want to discuss, because from the looks of the trailers and stuff in it, this seems like something that might be an issue with some, and I can see why. It's the screwdriver.
What do you mean?
Well, apparently, from looks in this trailer and theories around, the screwdriver might do more than just what it did before.
What could it do now?
For example, blow up walls, stop like force field bullets, and work on wood.
I don't think it'll ever work on wood. That's its like only like funny quote thing.
I know.
But no, it's one of those things that I wouldn't throw the off. I'd say don't do that. The Sonic Screwdriver is already
No.
overpowered in the Mon series.
Oh my yes. Oh my god, yes.
You know, I think
I think something we need less of is the useless screwdriver.
For example, now with re-watchability, that branding is important, and the screwdrivers within that. You know, kids want to get their own Sonic screwdriver.
It's a cool looking screwdriver as well.
It's like, you know, the similar. So I hate, and other people don't like it. Doctor Who is a family show; it's not a kids show. But when Power Rangers is on, you remember as a kid that you'd see all the morphers and whatever every year it would change. That sort of stuff, or Primeval, every dinosaur would have its own toy. They like that. They like that visual. And it's like you don't need to change the screwdriver because it's the literal thing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't mean the visual thing. I get changing it with the Doctor so you can sell more toys, therefore more money. Yay! But I mean, like literally, that's what they'll give the classic series overall. Is that it literally is there once in a blue moon. It gets destroyed. The Doctor doesn't get a new one until the new series until. AIDS Doctor.
Well, I think Series 1 works really well with it, and then I think they use it a lot more, you know, throughout.
Well, yeah, I guarantee that was a production note from BBC or Carriage Options.
Use it.
Yeah, use it more. Again, I always find it weird that in the Mon series they like read it from nothing. Like, oh, it says this. Where the shit are you seeing that?
I think that's I know it's used before, but the most prominent thing I can think of is Series 11.
No, I think of Matt all the time.
Really? Do you think of? Oh yeah, Matt does do it.
He does the flick thing, doesn't he? And he goes, "Ooh, this." I'm like, "Where the shit are you seeing that from?" I love Matt. Don't get me wrong, but he's probably the criminal offender of the OV Sonic screwdriver.
Yeah,
because he'll use it in resolutions to plots, whereas at least Jodie, when she would use it, it would be like a.
Yeah, but she would scan it and go, "With there's sheep over here." Oh, where'd you get that from? Where'd you get that from?
You watch Attenborough documentaries, can
you? Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what I think about the look of it either. I mean, I just have paid some good money to get it metallic. Here's the thing, right? And this is where some Doctor Who fans are like, I don't understand how you're a fan, because I really don't care about getting figures or replicas or anything like that. I like, as you can see, I like my books, I like my DVDs. That's about it. I got given those Dalek bobblehead things for Christmas. I haven't opened them. I don't really intend to. I've got probably the best thing I ever owned, Doctor Who, which is the Pudsey Bear. It's insane.
That's cool. Is the Stitch also Doctor Who?
Beat the meat, mate. That's the prototype. Beat the meat. It's the prototype.
What I thought was a really good idea, but they kind of like just didn't do this in the end, was in Series 9 where they literally destroyed the screwdriver, and I was like, oh my god,
wearable technology.
And I was like, we're gonna not have a screwdriver for a series or whatever. That's really cool. And then he wears the glasses, and it's like,
it did increase the sale of Ray-Bans though. So
did it? Yeah. Same with bow ties.
Same with bow ties. I think even fezzes there was an upturn, which is
100%.
Doctor Who fans will buy anything. Like basically, literally, they could be, I don't know, think of something really mundane, like a sewing, like a ball of yarn, and that color of the ball of yarn would go up.
Apparently, here we go. Here's something that'll happen. Millie Gibson in the new special, or Millie Ruby Sunday is probably meant to play her theme on a piano, and people will buy that a specific piano so they can play that.
That's the thing. Like it still won't beat when Capaldi plays Clara's theme on the guitar, because that is a beautiful moment. I also, by the way, I'll say this now. Clara's not my favorite companion, but I think she has the nicest theme. But obviously, we recently on the show
100%.
watched Crimson Horror, and that maybe it's because it's my first one, but that brings back memories.
No, it is good. It is a really good theme. I'd say hers and Martha's is the best.
I like Martha's a lot. Amy's actually is really underused. It's rarely used in the show because they just want to use I'm the Doctor.
It is. They use it's good. Oh my god! I think the best way use it, Scott, is in Good Man Goes to War.
Yeah.
When I think Vastra comes on and she's like, "Oh well, you've risen higher," and then like
I hope it's not that, because at that point you kind of put yourself in the shoe hole of, well, why can't it do that every time? Unless there's literally a point within the story where Unit go, Doctor, here we've had a mishmash of all your sonic screwdrivers. Now it's the most powerful thing, and the Doctor loses the specific screwdriver by the end of the specials. In which case, I'm sort of okay with it, but also that's a dumb idea to do in the first place.
Or, oh, no, this is even dumber, never mind. Or Neil Patrick Harris again has something to do with it.
But like,
and
what? Neil Patrick just give him a screwdriver. Here's how you defeat me, Doctor.
Yeah, here's how you defeat me. No, but here's my thing about the screwdriver.
Wait until the end of the third hour, Doctor. We've got time to fill.
I think that maybe the screwdriver thing is real, only because what does Russell write? Well, Camp Doctor Who. And what is more camp than...
That's bullshit.
Do you think?
Yeah. If you can like... No, I'm sorry. If the screwdriver can now like create force fields and laser beams, like it was even done when it was repelling the things in Rings of Akhaten. That was dumb, and they never did it again because it was stupid. Like the screwdriver, like this is the thing about the Doctor. The Doctor is not Iron Man. The Doctor is a character that is a scientist who has this scientific weapon. Like genuinely, I agree with John Hurt when he's like, it's a scientific instrument, not a water pistol.
Yeah.
Like that's how the screwdriver should be used. Like again, it's quite like the classic v modern thing, but I'm fully on the classic side of how it's used. It should just be literally a thing to open doors or maybe like
get. Yeah, but even then, I quite like the fact that without it, the Doctor uses their brain to like get themselves out of a situation. Do you know what I mean?
Doctor, so kind of one thing I liked of the Jodie era, which she didn't do enough, which is she used inventions every now and then. Like she actually made the screwdriver, rather than just randomly popping out the TARDIS, which I still don't understand how the
Matt
fuck
did it a lot,
worked.
didn't he?
Ish. He would be like at the bottom of his TARDIS fixing it, and that would be it.
Or like he'd have that machine where he'd have the screen thing.
Yeah, with the Crephaeus.
Yeah.
No, great episode that. Vincent and Doctor podcast. Listen to it. It's on the YouTube channel now. But yeah, I think the Doctor needs to go back to inventing. I think that's one of the nice. Like Tennant did it once with the Ghostbusters machine thingy. Don't remember him doing it ever again.
Yeah.
Capaldi, I don't think ever did it, which is probably me being wrong. And someone's going to go, well, actually, in this episode,
the guitar.
The guitar is not an invention. He just bought it. He literally said, I think you got given it. He says, I got given it by whoever. Although he maybe invented Beethoven, who knows? Bootstrap paradoxes and all that. Yeah, that is probably my favourite bit of opening credits, pre-credits is the if Beethoven only knew the music because somebody gave him a piece of Beethoven sheets, who originally composed the music of Beethoven? It's like, oh, that's a really good question and makes you think, how does that work?
How does he do that?
You know, but I like that a lot. But yeah, I also think as well, this is an obvious one, but I think it's going to lay the groundwork for the spin-off or spin-offs because we don't know how many there will be. I disagree to this theory that you could have too many spin-offs. I think as long as they're good, you do 2 or 3 a year.
And you also want to spread them out.
I'm not saying do the Marvel thing where you have like 7 movies and that's. But like if you can, like for example, if we can get back to the level where we had 2 spin-offs in the main show, easy. Yeah. Like when people are like, oh no, I think 1 spin-off a year is going. Screw that. Like I don't get oversaturation as a thing. Like for example, I don't think anybody would really be complaining if all the Marvel and Star Wars stuff was really good. And if we got 3 Marvel films a year that were still as good as they were in Phase 3, and we got 3 TV shows that were just as good, nobody would be complaining because then it doesn't feel like it's too much. It just feels like it's good content.
Well, WandaVision in itself was all right.
Loki season 2 is cracking so far. I think.
Loki season 2
I'm really enjoying it. There are elements, obviously, but like Doctor Who just needs to get back to it used to be on telly a lot more, which is why I'm happy we're getting it every year. That's obviously very clear that we're filming Series 15 before Series 14 is even aired. Well,
I think that's what they're doing as well, because I think the main thing Russell has stated that he doesn't want the show to have a break. He always wants something to go on.
Which is why I think we're going to have a couple specials to kind of bridge those gaps. Why not? I think people always go to this format of the kids and the adult, like talk to Terry. We don't need to do that again. Just do 2 other family spin-off. if you want. You don't need to do one. This is the one for kids, and this is the one for adults. Look, here's the sex monster, or here's a bunch of Slovene because kids love farts.
Yeah.
Because I just think do 2 good spin-offs. If you want to make it a bit more childish, or if you want to make it a bit well, do it. But
why not?
you could tell that when they came up with the idea for those spin-offs, they had those boxes ticking in mind. Where they're like, we need to make one for CBBC, we need to make one for BBC3. What can we do? Get Bam, and he loves a bit of the naughty stuff. Sarah Jane, people like, people can really like her. She's an endearing character, job done. Whereas this time, if you want to do a unit show, certainly don't make it adult because kids will want to watch it with Kate Stewart, but certainly don't dumb it down for children. Like, just
make it have like a Doctor Who show, like not like the family, because Doctor Who's tackled darker things. You can do that, but like, just make it the level that. Yeah,
there are even the rumors of this Monster Chronicle show thing, which I think is one of those things where people go, "Oh, it doesn't sound great," but we don't really know what it is. It's just things saying that, "Oh, we might be visiting the planets, or might be some wars." Like,
I really hope it's not like a fact file on Raxacoricophalacosaurus.
No, but it won't be that. It won't be that because there would be no point. That would be like another confidential show, which you don't. It would be building that as a spin-off.
Do you remember they had? Were you that? I don't know if you were. They had like a Sarah Jane. Like factual, like they had like a spin-off to Sarah Jane, which is basically like just a 5-minute or 10-minute program where Mr. Smith would go.
It was called Deadly 60.
Deadly 60. And Mr. Smith would go, today on Dead. Hi, I'm Steve Action. No, he'd go. He just talked about the Celine or something for a.
What a show, by the way, Deadly 60. Cracking.
Yeah.
Deadly 60.
I watched a bit of that the other day. Like, just
why? Where?
I don't know. I just watched clips of it on YouTube when I was bored. There was parts of it I didn't know. Steve Baxwell gets like hurt, like loads.
Yeah.
What a unit.
What a hero.
But yeah.
But no, I'm going to ask you this question because you asked me it ages ago, and I was so rude I didn't ask it back. Who would you like to see come back? 3 characters.
I don't know. I mean, I know we're maybe seeing Wilf, so that's exciting.
No, I think that's basically
okay. That is confirmed.
Okay. I think
so. Martha's 100%.
Martha, I'd love that.
If they're doing like that cameo first, I would 100% want to see Matt.
Yeah.
I would want to see Capaldi.
Yeah.
And I would want to see Eccleston.
Do you know what the reason I say Karen is because I think it would be a massive triumph for the show if they get her. Not that she wouldn't be interested, but just because of how busy she is. She's like genuinely got to be one of the top.
Well, Matt's quite busy at the moment.
No, but he's not Karen Gillan. Like Karen Gillan's in Jumanji, Marvel. Like she's doing bits everywhere. And she's also
is she the biggest star the show's produced?
Probably up there.
Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield.
No, but did Doctor Who produce Andrew Garfield?
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
You could argue Eccleston, like in terms of overacting prowess, maybe to our age.
Oh, Tennant, maybe
Tennant as well. Tennant. You got Billy Piper's obviously had an incredible career. So there's a few because obviously in our demographic and our thing, obviously Cameron's catered towards those things that we like, which is Marvel and the Jumanji films. Jenna Coleman, yeah, she's done a few bits. I'd argue probably Karen's up there. I'd say David Tennant. I'd say Capaldi. Those would be my 3. Here's a fun question for you: who's one actor that you'd love to see in Doctor Who that hasn't actually made the trip? Not as a doctor, but just an actor that you'd like to see.
Obviously, I'd love Olivia Colman to have a bigger part than what she did.
Yeah.
But she is she is bigger now. I don't know.
I reckon she'd do it.
There are many. Well, that's the thing now with this. Well, suppose budget stuff. Who could you get? Do you know what I mean?
They've got bloody Kristoff from Frozen, man. They can get anyone they want.
Yeah. I don't know what about.
I've always said I'd like to see Matt Berry in it.
Matt Berry, Stanley Tucci.
Stanley Tucci would be amazing. Daniel Craig. Like if they get Daniel Craig for an episode, that would be insane. I've also always said Tom Hiddleston. Genuinely, even if it was a one-off, give him a master role, even for one episode. I don't care if he's literally in it for one episode.
Gwendolyn Christie,
Alfred Enoch,
John Boyega.
One person I never want to see in it, which I keep seeing being fan cast, is Tom Holland. No, People keep fancasting him as the Doctor. What are you doing? I like Tom
please
Holland a
stop.
lot. He's a decent actor. I say that.
Daisy Ridley. Daisy Ridley. That's someone I would like
She's
to
not
see.
doing too much. Get her in there, mate.
Yeah. She's a good actress.
Imagine if, you know, I assume Millie Gibson's staying on for series 15 because no one else has announced. But, you know, if she's leaving after
She's probably leaving after
Shooty
2.
Gatwa and Daisy Ridley. Watching that, mate. Asa Butterfield just for the shits.
More sex ed cast. Honestly, chuck them all in there.
Ryan Gosling.
Why not?
Here's a question. Do you think that's happening? So a lot of people are writing it off, but I also can genuinely see it.
I can see it happening.
Even if it's for a 2-minute cameo, because Ryan Gosling actually likes Doctor Who. He knows Shooty Gatwa. There's this entirely new budget with Disney.
Has Stephen Fry been in the show?
Of course he has. He was in Spyfall, mate. He got caught.
He was.
I'd like to see Greg Davis in it. That's another comedian. Oh,
another role for Ian McKellen.
Yeah, Ian McKellen.
Who did you say? Sorry,
I said Greg Davis, but I forgot it was Hydroflags.
Oh, he is, isn't he? Yeah.
Which, is, to be fair, is the perfect role for him because it's a Christmas.
Yeah, it was a good role.
Like, you could argue that it's not. It's like I always disagree with people to get ready for next week's podcast. When people say, "Oh, it's a waste of James Buckley in 155," because here's my thing: I don't think James Buckley's that great of an actor. I think he was great at playing Jay in The Inbetweeners because he was Jay in The Inbetweeners when he was 15. So it was very easy for him to just play a young guy who's a bit funny.
We've got 2 more in-betweeners actors to be in this show,
but
so they can check them in.
Neither of them, I think, are that great actors.
Simon Bird's all right.
He's done a few bits, but they're all comedy stuff. I think that would be, that it's so weird with Doctor Who because it's such a big show, so many episodes, and yet you could still get so many cast members.
Has the mum from Friday Night Dinner been in it?
Long game, mate. She gives Adam his.
She is.
I'd like one of the I like Anne Hegarty to be in it because I remember when she was in the jungle, she said she loves Doctor Who. Get Anne from The Chase in it. Don't Google it now.
Anne Hegarty.
She's the female chaser. You absolute. Plonk.
She is. Right. Okay.
Get Emily Atack in it as well. Get everyone in between.
Emily Atack. Everyone for anything. I mean, that's the thing. You can get people from like years and years and stuff like that. People that Russell's worked with, Yeah,
Emma Thompson in Doctor Who.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many people you can get in Doctor Who. I guess before we wrap up, we should. Last thing is, my genuine question: do you think these are going to live up to the hype? That is not obviously. Do you want them to? But do you think? Because here is my issue with this: is I think these are the most hyped Doctor Who episodes since Day of the Doctor, and that's why I'm so worried that if they're just all right, people are going to get quite upset. I genuinely think he's going to stick the landing. I do. I have a feeling. I have a feeling. But I get for somebody like you who's really hyped for this sort of thing. Can it even live up to the hype? Can it reach that level in your brain?
Well, that's the thing. When I watched Avengers Endgame, I hyped it up so much.
It's the best,
and it's very good. It is still very good. But the first time I watched it, I walked out. It was like 3 a.m. in the morning. Yeah. But I walked out and I was like,
Shan's not an evening person. Everyone.
I'm not.
As soon as it's like 1 p.m., if he's not had any beers, he's done. If he's had a few beers, as you'll find out soon enough, well, it turns 1 o'clock. That's when he gets into his interesting mode. But yeah, no, I loved Endgame when I went out of the theater. But it's because I'm going optimistic, but other than I didn't dislike what the last 5 years. I didn't dislike it, so I'm not going in going, I need it to step up. I just need it to be on the same level of quality because I enjoyed it. So there's not that pressure for me. But then again, though, I might be that kind of person that likes all of Doctor Who, no matter what it is, and despite people think I dislike. My thing with Doctor Who is, and why people think I'm critical, is I like Doctor Who so much that when Doctor Who is bad, I still like Doctor Who more than other TV shows. So even like a middling David Tennant episode, I'd rather watch that than most telly. You know what I mean?
With myself, I'm very I have to admit, wasn't a big on Chibnall's run. it wasn't any. You know, I didn't think it was bad per se. I just thought it was a bit disappointing. I just think I think the hardest thing for me is like imagine. Well, this is it for me. Obviously, it's different for everyone else, but for me, Doctor Who's been my favorite show since I was, you know, so I watched it for the first time, and
Since
the
you were
fact that
2000, you were
so
since I was.
2000, no 2005, I watched it since then, you know, from then on, and the fact that I really just had moments where I was like, do I really want to stop, like, carry on watching, like I had moments of doubt of the show that I
Yeah,
loved.
yeah.
That's for me that really took it out,
No,
and
I get it.
yeah.
I do, because it was so different, and you're not alone in that.
Mm.
Um, yeah. But no, I'm a big fan of it, as you know.
Mm.
I certainly think it's some of the best stuff we've had in the show. But you know, every Doctor Who fan has a differing opinion on the era. That's the beauty of the show. Like you, like
Yeah,
David's. Like, I could only find somebody that thinks Colin Baker's the best era in the show, and I don't think it's that great. But there's some Doctor Who fan out there
people like
that
Orphan 55.
I
That's
do.
something
But
people do.
we'll
You
wait for that
do.
next week. Wait for that next week. I just think I don't like it, but I don't hate it as much as other people. But I'll say that for next week. I've not really watched it, so I might hate it when I watch it this time and change my opinion. But it's certainly not as bad as Sleep No More, for example, which I think is potentially the worst hour of Doctor Who I've ever watched.
Which one's Sleep No More again? I
A quick
completely
fire,
forgot.
that's the one where it's like POV and it's Sam.
Oh
It's
yeah,
Sam.
it was.
Here's the
Yeah,
funny thing, right? So my friend had stopped watching Doctor Who at that point, and I was like, "No, it's getting good again," because we just had a Zygon 2-parter and it was insane. He was like, "Oh, no, I'll watch this weekend's episode. I'll come up to yours and watch it." And I was like, "Yeah, great, it's been good." And then it was Sleep No More, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm never watching this show again." I was like, "Oh, fair enough." And obviously,
the
the week,
structure of that season was
no,
really confusing as
the
well.
next week it was Face the Raven and Heaven Sent. Like if I just picked the week after,
But it
probably would
was
have.
that the structure of that season is really confusing because I remember a lot of people that I
Yeah,
was chatting to at the time. They thought that Face the Raven would have carried on with the sleep things because that was its own part, wasn't it?
yep,
But everything else was a two-parter. So I think it
indeed.
confused a lot of people. You could have literally taken that episode out. No
Yep.
offense, but you could have literally,
Sorry, Mark.
yeah. Was it Mark? Was it
Yeah,
Getters?
it was Mark Gatcher. Sorry, Mark. Love you, Mark.
Right, better, mate. No, no, sorry. No,
You
no,
do
no,
better,
no.
Roshan.
No, I exactly. I won't be able to do better. Yeah.
You do better.
Yeah.
But we'll get into our last predictions then very briefly. So obviously, I've kind of dug under there and find out that you're basically unsure whether it will live to this hype within your
I
brain.
hope it does. Oh my
And
god, I'm very excited.
I'm scared for you that it can't, which is going to be
Mm.
interesting. Well, hopefully, I'll definitely invite you on for one of the reviews because I know that you're frothing at the bit for these 3 specials. Maybe the last one, just so I can go as Doctor Who Want You Back again as a must watch.
I'll cry
weekly.
if I watch it. If I join a review right after the watch of the episode, I will cry.
That's
Because
I need to beat these other Doctor Who YouTubers to the upload, so I need you there, man. I can't be a day late and $1 short. You know what I mean? Well, you know, this is it's how the algorithms work these days. YouTube's a different game now, mate. Unfortunately. But yeah, I'd say well, go on.
I think what I'm really excited for these specials is that what we've seen so far, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
Like it looks great.
Yeah, maybe this is a controversial opinion for me. I've never seen a bad Doctor Who trailer in my life.
Yeah.
I'm like even like series even when I was like a bit out of it with the Capaldi era, like the series 8 and series 9 trailers are quite good. Or like I hope even I've seen you and you can't backtrack on this because we've spoken about it. Whenever a Jodie trailer would come out, you'd still go, "Oh, this series actually."
Oh yeah, series 12. Series 12's trailer is one of my favorites.
Yeah, like because I think. I also think Series 12 is actually quite good, and if you went through the episodes, there's a lot of them you like, but that's besides the point. You won't stick to that theory, but if I walked you through it, you'd probably go, that one's not too bad. So your brain thought of Series 12 just goes, I don't like the Time as Child, therefore the series is shit. But, you know, that's besides the point. I'm looking forward to these. I'm buzzing. It's kind of weird because they're all coming out on busy weeks for some reason. I'm just not BBC's fault. They're not linked to Showmasters, but I'm in bloody London for the first episode, so you know that upload might be a bit you know get back the day after and have to do it very quickly. When I get back and upload it and have a chat and all that sort of stuff. But I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to shooting Gatwa. Looking forward to David coming back. I didn't at some point I haven't said yet is I'm actually excited to experience whether David Tennant wave whilst actually being a fan. it's going to be nice because I wasn't a part of it when David Tennant was around, and all of you David Tennant fans are bloody crazy. But I mean, Christ, it's nice. It's nice to see a lot of fans, especially you and Reese, for example, because Reese is kind of similar to you. He was buzzing this. Oh, my childhood's back. Obviously, I have none of that, so that's kind of that's probably why my hype is a bit. In terms of episode quality, I'm probably in the exact same place as you. I think these episodes look insane. It looks great. I think it's going to be great. I can't wait to see what happens. But I don't have that extra energy of, it feels like my childhood's coming back. I'm buzzing for that. That feeling of seeing Tennant and Tate together for an episode is insane.
I think what's really made me excited, and not just the fact for me, but for other people, is that I know people in my family and have said that they will watch these, because my family have really switched off, I think, when the end of Smith, when Capaldi came along around that time.
Yeah, it's kind of that era, isn't it? That's kind of where the close offs go. I mean, which is a shame, really, because I think people turned off on Capaldi because he was a bit older and it was a different show than what they knew. And actually, in terms of his performance, Capaldi is probably one of the stronger.
He's the best. I'd say he's the best.
Like he's the best in terms of when he gets given really, really good material, he delivers it the best. Like
I think even when he's given bad material, he works with it well. That's the thing.
I'd give that to Matt. I just kind of think Matt maybe has some of the worst stories, especially in the back half, even though I like that series. Right. So when obviously we got the release of the audio version of the new themes, and I haven't listened. I've only listened to the new Doctor Who theme actually, so I can't really talk about the other two. But it sounds pretty good. I like it actually. It's getting a lot of hate, which I don't understand. I think it sounds a lot like the film one, which is probably one of the better ones. It's cool.
It's a mix of a lot of them. Do you think it's going to be 60th anniversary theme, or do you think it'll be also shooties?
I hope it's just shooties. I know it won't be, but I really want them just as a series 4 one, just to go back. Just for the first episode, just the David Tennant, Catherine Tate titles with the bam 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 bam.
Yeah,
just for if it's nostalgia, go all the way with it. You know what I mean? Like, remember when there were those theories of David Tennant's playing a different version of the Doctor. It's not just going to be the 10th Doctor again. I was like, well, why would you write it like that? Because he's there for 3 episodes. It's nostalgia. Just go all the way with it. If you're going to bring David Tennant back, just bring David Tennant back.
I am excited for the 10th Doctor with the memories of 11, 12, and 13.
He's like, I was a woman. But no, I think it's going to be great. Murray being back, everyone's buzzing for it. I like Segan, and I like Murray Gold. So it's a win-win for me. Everyone that was like, Segan's themes weren't bombastic enough, and I was like, well, that's why they chose him, because he's different.
I've listened to his stuff enough, because I listened to that concert and I really like The Woman Who Fell to Earth.
Here's the thing with Segan's stuff. I'd say it's much better to put in the background when you're at work and stuff. It's not an insult. It's just a lot calmer and a lot, Whereas I think Murray's themes are more iconic, but I wouldn't say they're necessarily better. Does that make sense? I think you associate Murray's themes a lot more with moments. Well, I think Segan's stuff is a lot more underplayed, literally and figuratively, in the sense of they balance with the story better. So you don't necessarily think of someone, although the 13th Doctor's theme is incredible. And
I was going to say, Alex, you said that Murray Gold's music plays with moments. Well, there's a reason why Sagan's music doesn't play with any moments, because there aren't any moments in the.
Wow.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Wow.
No,
well, just to let you know, guys. But you'll subscribe to this, but I'll say it now. There was back when Flux was airing, he was like, "Oh, Doctor Who's really good again now," and then he looks back on it and he goes, "Oh, it was only all right." Actually.
Well, I liked Flux at the beginning, and then I didn't
like. No, you liked it until the last episode, but you act as if it was all right for the first.
That's a lie.
Two. No, it's not a lie.
Two.
You liked the first two. You didn't like number 3, and then you really liked 4, and you didn't mind 5, and then 6 was. And then, but you act as if I liked the first 2, and then it was really crap. And it's like, no, shut up.
I did lose me at number 3.
After episode 4, you were like, oh, it's pretty good again, and 5, you're like, oh, it's good. It's building up to a good finale, and I'll agree with the episode 6 was a bit with. But yeah. I don't know, mate. These specials, they do worry me because there's a lot of hype behind them. I'm not worried for myself because I'll probably like it anyway. I like a lot of Doctor Who. But people like you, ones that are like, oh, this is like the return of my childhood, and they're going, are they all going to be 10 out of 10 bangers? They well might be. I have faith. I do. I don't want them to fail. I'm not going
to. What's your ratings out of 10 prediction wise for how much you like them?
8, 10, 9.
Yeah, I'm going 8, 10, 9 as well.
I reckon. Wait,
I reckon. No, I reckon the
I'll push.
first episode won't be
I'll
as
push
big
the.
as the
I'll
rest.
push the boat out. I'm going to go 8, 10, 10.
Okay. Oh, you
Um,
think Giggle's going to finish off with a?
yeah.
Okay.
I think it will be a 10 for an entirely different reason as to why the second one's a 10.
Hmm.
I think
Okay.
the
Yeah.
second will be a 10 because of the potential fanboy aspect within myself. Was like the giggle watch. I really hope it gives David Tennant an ending. My last point I want to make, and it's going to piss people off because I think it's going to happen. If David Tennant says something along the lines of, I'm ready to go now, as a vis-a-vis for the I don't want to go, I will be pissed off. If that's his last line of like, I'm ready to go, I'll be like, fuck off, because you were ready to go for the last like 3 generations. So
Yeah.
pissed. Like, I just think it's one of those lines that I think the I don't want to go is iconic, where he doesn't need to say I'm ready to go, sort of thing, because it's just not necessary. And it's one of those lines that will be really cheesy. I don't see how you deliver it and it be
Yeah.
heartfelt. They can prove me wrong. Him going, I'm ready to go.
Well, they can write it anyway. That doesn't have to be his final
No,
line.
yeah,
I
exactly.
mean,
But look, there's not really a parallel, though, is it? Like the one thing about his ending that's so powerful is that it's just one line. He doesn't really have a speech.
I like it. I like that he said it in Day of the Doctor. That was a nice little nod.
Oh yeah, I hope my thing isn't principal because I don't want to go.
He always says that.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's all of us kind of finished in terms of like this last discussion, which is weird that it's the last discussion because it's come along very quickly. We left
It's
uni,
out in
we left
probably
uni
less than a month.
4 months ago. Over 4 months ago, we left uni, and isn't time flying by?
Time is flying
Graduation,
by.
graduation was 3 months ago, 2 days ago. Time is flying. Time is flying, Oshan.
I'm gonna think of that.
You're going to be 22 soon. You're going to be Taylor Swift years old.
Yay!
And the crowd goes mild.
I'm gonna enter my era.
Your era store. I would go to the Oshan Thomas era store. What would you sing? Frank
I don't
Sinatra.
know.
You have a bit of Sinatra on you on the karaoke?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. How the hell do you know that?
You've told me.
I must have told you that. Yeah.
You have with dogs, I know. We've not
It's
done
been
karaoke
there.
together. We've not done karaoke together yet. That would be something we have to do
No.
at some point.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. But anyway, guys, if you have enjoyed this, please, I would say go check Austin out, but there's no one really to check him out. He doesn't really do social media anymore.
I'm starting doing Twitter a lot more. I did 2 sarcastic tweets today, and I thought they were fucking amazing.
Right, hang on, let me rate his Twitter. I'm not going on Twitter all day, so I'm gonna go on these tweets. You can't delete them. No. By the way, shout out to Paddington in Peru.
Way!
Right. It's the Ocean Man, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ocean Man. Take my brother.
Oh yeah, so if you want to follow me on social, it's the Osian Man on Twitter, and then I've started a channel called Beyond Two. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Apparently, Twitter's down, mate, because on your profile there's no tweets apart from
Go on
Gareth
like
Bale.
no, go on likes or like replies or something.
Oh, is this something that's a known issue? Hang on. So it's been 1 year since a year later. How do you feel about this about their character exits? Oh no, anyway. I mean, all right. I thought Yaz's one was quite good, but I can't.
No, to be fair, I'm coming out now, and I've said it before. I think the Power of the Doctor's last 10 minutes is some of the best in Doctor Who.
Where's your other one? I only see that one. Where's the other?
Oh, scroll up. Is there not?
I see. This seems to be a lot of Yell's first generation. It's just a gif of a man pointing at there.
Yeah.
It's not really that sassy, though, is it?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Damn! I work next to that Tesco. Not there tonight, though. I'm afraid. Yeah, mate. You're winning Twitter, mate. You're winning Twitter, mate.
They're filming Doctor Who right next to my work.
I know, but you also like live right by where people live when they work on Doctor Who, don't you?
I know.
He lives in the bougie part of Cardiff, everyone.
I do live in the vision part of Cardiff.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, you can follow him at the Ocean Man. You can follow him on TikTok at Ocean GT. He doesn't post anymore, but you can follow him there. He might go back one day. Who knows? He might be one
Might
of
go
the like,
back.
you know what? I have a TikTok. I'm going to do a Doctor Who review of these episodes, and he might become a Doctor Who TikToker.
Oh, do you know what? Yeah. Why not?
There you go.
I'm coming for you, Who Culture. Hire me, please. Thank you.
You can't just apply. They've got a job open.
Nah, I don't know their names. Crispy Pro and
I don't know the other one.
Ali. Hire me on Who Culture.
Is the other guy Sean? Is it
Sean? Hire me
go.
on Who Culture, please.
You can just apply, mate.
Can you just apply?
Yeah, on the website.
Shut up. No, you can't do that. Can you actually?
You can. They're a company, you idiot. They're a company. You can just apply.
I'll apply.
There you go. But you can follow Osian on the. He's also got an Instagram as well, but he doesn't really post on that either.
Osian.gt.
So you can follow that at The Timeless Pod on X or Twitter, or whatever you want to call it. Follow me at AlexKing_Dom. Follow the podcast as well, but give us a subscribe, a like, and a comment if you want. Don't do Osian now and just jump to the end of the podcast, out yourself, and go, oh, mate, amazing episode, guys. Go wait for next week when you've jumped forward in time because the episode's not been out long enough yet. And make sure as well, if you want to listen to us on audio platforms, you can click the link in the description. Same thing if you're on Spotify and you want to jump over to the YouTube, it's exactly the same thing. If you're on the YouTube, you saw a spooky ghost. Anyway, please do take care, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all soon.
You're gonna say goodbye to the podcast.
Bye.
Gonna say goodbye. Bye.
Did you say bye?
Yeah.
Okay, we didn't hear it, but I'll say your words.
Shout it. Ready?
Just wave.
Are you going to say bye to the podcast?
Wave. Just wave.
Just wave.
Wave.
More into it.
More in.
You're a ghost. Yeah. You're a ghost.
Where?
Oh.
We kind of got it.
Oh. Yay! Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone. Spooky ghost.